patience, persistence, and positivity, the 3 Ps, can be very beneficial and productive for soul evolution if we can observe these things, sit in these things, test these things, and work with these things. We're in a time as well where the masculine and the feminine are finding their way back in a balancing act. Part of what's going on from this non-human intelligence is to muddy the waters and to lose what we could say is the family unit. Also, we could say what the masculine and the feminine are, the equilibrium with them that is attained when both of them are worked with. Now, you could go into the transhuman agenda, which is connecting technology with us biology, and you could say that could be a form of a balancing act if you wanted to come at it from that perspective, that even those things, the masculine and the feminine, would go out the window. But they're very valuable tools for creation, the masculine and the feminine. The masculine and the feminine is a part of God's source creator. It creates because it's got the duality of the masculine and the feminine. We've also got the perspective of us as individual beings have masculine and feminine energy because we come from God's source creator. The feminine is loving, it's nurturing, it thinks outside the box. It's great for manifesting, connecting to source. The masculine is controlling and structured, great for this physical reality, but it also gets stuff done. When you combine the two, you're a creator being. So we can see in some cases, depending on one's energy, they can be somebody that procrastinates a lot or somebody that gets a lot of stuff done, but other things go out the window, like joy. And a very common message that I get for joy is from Archangel Gabriel. Very common that when Archangel Gabriel comes through and I'm assisting others or getting a connection going on myself, or if I'm visited by Gabriel, is that to do joyful things. That when you do joyful things, you're resonating at a joyful frequency, attracting more joyful things. Even if it's something where it's a hobby, something that you do for fun, something that gets you back into that childlike nature. Anything that can get you into that state, even 15 minutes a day, can be something that gets you to that balance of letting go, a balance within your own being on a regular, we could say, or as a regular type thing. And so because of that, when you start doing things on a regular basis of joy, you start to resonate at that joyful frequency. But the masculine and feminine need to be implemented with this as well. A way that you could assess this in your own day-to-day life, and it's something that I mention quite a lot to people that I assist in other interviews that I've done, is think of a colour or a feeling that represents, in this case, feminine energy for you. Even use your imagination, which is creation, if you have to. Breathe that energy in and out, or visualize that you're sitting within it, or even wear that color if it's a color for you. Even for 20 seconds, 2 minutes, tap into that energy, that color. And besides the expectation or the intention of even connecting with that energy, don't think about anything else. Let go of it once you've done it. And what I would recommend is if somebody's a lot in feminine energy, they've got a lot going on in here, but they can't get it out of themselves. And this is for a number of different reasons. It's not that we could say there's even a situation that's wrong. It's just how you operate. But if you tap into the feminine, what I would recommend is writing out these ideas, these things in the consciousness aspect of you as a human being, which we're actually beyond this. But in the thoughts and the ideas and the epiphanies, the concepts, and just write it out. Don't think about it, just write. And what I would advise after that is going back after having a break. And I would say don't wait too long, but go back after having a break, let's say having a glass of water, a tea, a coffee, what have you. Tuning this time into the masculine. What color or feeling represents masculine energy for you? And just use your intention breathing in and out this energy for 20 seconds, 2 minutes, let go, and then go back to that list. And when you do that, a lot of the times people will have two ways that they'll do this. They'll have a list of things that they can implement right now that the feminine brought through, what they can actually do, get a start on, get it done. And there'll be stuff with goals, plans, ideas, epiphanies, concepts that they can't do straight away, but they can get the ball rolling. And that is where the masculine kicks in going, all right, well, if I can't do this right now, what can I do to get this situation rolling? What can I do to get it on the go? This is also a way to balance out your own masculine and feminine. But we're also going through a recalibration process of a masculine feminine balance ourselves here on this planet globally. There's been times where the feminine, we could say, is ruled than the masculine. And there's been quite a number of cycles, even going back to Atlantis and Lemuria. And it's something where it's up and down until the balance is not just met within ourselves, but collectively as well. And that is another point, that right now a lot of people are knowing things that they don't know how they know from other experiences. I'll say past lives, but it's actually beyond that, to the case that sometimes it's future lives. And if we get out of the perspective of past, present, and even future, we can say other aspects that are coexisting simultaneously from the higher self that goes out fractally to experience within source. And so whether it's tones, doing certain things energetically, moving energies, healing, modalities, working with crystals, going to certain locations where ethereally information can be stored in the rock of that location. Even holographic tech and consciousness assisted technologies are in a lot of these ancient, we could say, power spots, locations that are on ley lines or arteries that come off them. You could say sublay lines. But we also connect up collectively in a grid, a conscious grid. And many beings have come here from the stars and beyond at this time to play a part in humanity, to uplift humanity. And so with that, not can it be just ideas, epiphanies, concepts, a knowingness of times and abilities that you've had from the time of Atlantis, Lemuria, and even future lives, but it can be even lives from the star nations, going out extragalactically, beyond this galaxy, going up to, we could say, even the angelic constructs of ourselves. Many that I have come across have what we could say weaned down from the high dimensional states into the star nations as prep for stepping into the earth human experience due to their experience, their knowledge, their wisdom, their know-how. And many of them are actually you here right now. That goes beyond starseed, though you've played that role as well. This is a very tricky situation when it gets into this, because we want to also be grounded and enjoy the human experience at the same time, because as I say, when you leave this reality, you're going to wish that you took more advantage of it, with the physicality of it, and even being a creative being, from the non-physical aspects to the physical aspects of what can come with being human. But there is a situation where it's bringing that creative being aspect that's unbounded here into the physical form to assist with the transition into what some would say is the golden age. And so the tricky part with this is external validation. Many of you watching are tapped in, are intuitive, have had experiences, are assisting others, you know a lot. The thing that I think all people come across at certain stages in the human experience is needing that external validation for thoughts, ideas, epiphanies, concepts, actions. The analogy I'll use for this is it's like you've made a decision and you're about to ring up a family member or a friend and you're about to run by them this decision. Now, your mind's already made up, all right? But in effect, what you're doing is you're running this by the family member or friend, and even though you've got your mind made up, you're expecting and wanting external validation for the choice that you're about to make. Just like with spirit guides and our friends and family and the angels, they can be wrong. So this is where it's a test of faith, a test of our connection with Source, and expecting miracles at times, but also trusting the heart, which is the 0 point that connects us into that field that encompasses all consciousness and is God's source creator. And we're all winging it, and you're going to be right, you're going to be wrong. And as I say, as long as you're not affecting others, what you're doing is you're finding your own manual in this process, because in the human experience, there isn't just one know-how-to manual. That's why with myself, I've studied different disciplines of yoga and meditation and NLP, hypnotherapy, contact, all these different things, even though I've been an experiencer for a long time, because the more tools at my disposal means the more that I'm able to help people help themselves, and even help myself in that process, which all this is about first and foremost, so we can give 100% to everyone else. So the come to with that is, when do you get to a point of stop needing external validation? And there's no right or wrong with that. I don't think there is an answer to that, especially with the process that we're in. But what I'm saying is, look at the situations of what is it that I'm wanting external validation for, what I feel is right. And I feel we're in a time where a lot of that's going to go out the window, that you're just going to start doing, and it's the heart speaking. Heart speak. The heart speaks. So as always, that's just some food for thought. And again, that tip and tool, working with the masculine and feminine, breathing in a colour or feeling that represents one or the other. Because sometimes you may feel that you need one more than the other as well, and that might be just something that if you need to get something done, step into the masculine. If you need to be more creative and outside the box, step into the feminine. But either way, have a balance. Have a balance with the masculine and feminine in your life. And as always, just food for thought. That's all this is. And I hope this finds you well. Thank you.